Hello. Can I just say something before we get started here? And it means a lot to me and I really just need to get it off my chest. At this very moment I'm king. At this very moment I slay Goliath with the sling. In this very moment I put it on everything. That I will retire with the what? I will retire with the crown. Yes. No, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. Yes. Sorry. I feel like I'm making a mixtape and I love it. I love it. I'm vibing with this already. Girls, welcome to the Pretty Disruptive podcast. I'm so sorry for putting you through my cover there. First of all, girls, before we get started again, for the audio listeners, that was the sound of my V getting popped. I have a glass here as well. Sorry, ASMR, guys. Oh, we're off to a good start. Is that doing anything for anyone? Welcome, girls. You're witnessing history today. How do you feel? I'll give you a second to just think. How do you feel? Today is the first episode of the Pretty Disruptive podcast. I'm finally sitting down to do it. I feel like anything good in my life, it has to be forced. You would think I would be jumping with joy. This is like literally my dream to have a podcast, you know. This has been in the works for a very long time. Yet somehow, for some reason, I can't make myself do the things I want to do. I don't know. I had to force myself. I basically had the idea that I was going to record a couple of podcasts today just to get myself up and running, get myself used to the mic, the vibe. And here we are. It's currently 1:30 in the day, and that's where we're at. And I'm having my first caffeinated beverage. That is a lie. I had a coffee this morning. Let me take a suck. I hate to say this, but you are going to have to bear with me for the first couple of episodes until I get my bearings. The amount of technological advances that go into making a podcast is no joke. Okay, I thought this was going to be the same. I was like, I'm a pro. I've done YouTube for years. I know editing. I know laptops. I know my MacBook. I don't know her. I've never met her. And this is my first time coming in contact with her because I can't seem to work the bloody microphone. I can't get everything connected. It is what it is. I said to myself, if I don't press record right now, this podcast is dead in the dirt and it's history before it's even started. So we're here. I spent the day procrastinating and going into the shops and getting a few wee bits for my setup. I'm trying to make it me. I'm trying to get the vibe going. I have created the logo and the pictures and stuff for the podcast. So I know the colour scheme I'm going for. And I can tell you right now, it's basically nothing that's currently on screen for anybody who's watching on YouTube. I don't know, the shops just weren't given. I wanted some animal print. Not that there's animal print in the logos, but I feel like animal print's very me. I have this fluffy burgundy blanket and there is a bit of burgundy or red, like dark reddy brown burgundy on my pictures, my logos. So yeah, we're halfway there. But I went into the shops today and I got this to my left. And for my audio listeners, it is, quite frankly, I'm going to call it a crystal ball. And this is what I'm going to be referring to it as. This is my crystal ball and it's going to be really intuitive. It's going to look into our futures. However, what it really is, just so that you can, I'm being open and honest here, it is a Christmas bauble for $4 out of Big W, still with the label on, just in case I want to return it. And it's sitting inside a vase, a small little, I don't even know if I would call it a vase, maybe like a pot. It's sitting in there. I got some fairy lights. I've wrapped them around the mic. Honestly, there was a point today that I thought I was never going to be able to do anything again in my life. I thought that I was going to be stuck untangling fairy lights for the rest of my life. And I finally got it sorted. I say that loosely because I didn't get it sorted. It's actually still in knots. I thought it added a little something to the mic, so we're going with it. All of that to say, girls, welcome once again. I am so excited. I'm so excited. This podcast has been in the works. I'm going to say a year. I'm actually going to go out there and I'm going to say a year because the first kind of seed was set about a year ago. I was just talking about it. I have this goal in life, right? And it involves me being the center of attention. I'm joking. It involves performing. I love being on stage and performing and live shows. I didn't actually realise how much I loved it until this year when I done the hosting for Sinead Hegarty's show. I don't think I've ever experienced a state of flow like it in my life. I was so happy up there. The crowd made it, to be fair. They were just so funny. It was great. It was just the best night ever. And I keep thinking back to that. Anytime I'm thinking about it, it genuinely gives me butterflies. Okay? It gives me tingles. It gives me fanny flutters, for lack of a better term. but it really, really does. And it was just such a vibe. And I'm like, how can I bring entertainment and perform more? And I was like, I'm a long form girl, right? I love long form content. It's where my heart is. I don't mind short form. Listen, it's plague in society, but it's fine. It's grand. But I prefer to create in long form. And the problem with that is the girls aren't really watching long form anymore. Yous aren't. I don't know why, because I am. I'm loving long form. It's literally my only reprieve in life is my YouTube content and all of that. But I just realized I wasn't recording the whole time. I'm so sorry. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties are being had. As I was saying, I love long form content. The problem is the girls weren't watching YouTube anymore. Like the YouTube isn't really popping off. Everyone that's watching YouTube is sticking with their old people, like the people that they've watched for years, which guilty. Like literally, I do the exact same thing. So I can't even complain. But the girls are listening to podcasts. And I was like, I'm going to meet the girls where they're at and I'm going to just dip my toe into the podcast industry, see what we're talking about here. And yeah, like see how it goes. I would like to move into live shows. That's kind of where my head goes. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll see. We will see. Events, live shows, that type of vibe, that type of buzz. Because that is truly where I am happiest. That's my vibe. Let's look into my crystal ball and ask her. Ooh, ooh. Yes. She sees that in my future. Anyway, it's out now. It's called the Pretty Disruptive Podcast. It's basically going to be me in your ears, like we're on FaceTime, like we're on a call, just chatty, hopefully entertaining. Hopefully, I can make us laugh a little bit. We don't take life too seriously here, but hopefully we can learn stuff along the way, just like both of us together. I'm not going to be preaching to you. It's not going to be a teacher student kind of setup. It's going to be two students having a laugh. Do you know what I mean? Me and you, girl. I'm in your ears. You're doing the steps. I'm sitting here talking. It's literally perfect. And if you are out doing steps, walking, cleaning, whatever you're doing, when you're listening to this, let me know because I think at the very least, it's also my steps and it's also me doing the cleaning. So it's also my productivity if I'm fueling your productivity. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me know what you're up to. Oh, I am thrilled. Yeah, we're going to have fun. It's going to be lighthearted. I do roughly want to have a kind of topic to talk about each week, but really it's just going to be a chat. You know, I don't know how it's going to go yet. I don't want to structure too much. Funny enough, I actually recorded these podcasts all already. I've recorded 3 podcasts so far, but I hated them. Like, it just was given writing a speech for my daughter's wedding. Too serious. It was too planned. So I was like, today I'm going to come on, no notes, no like plan, and just chat to you. Open heart, open mind. That's my vibe. So I'm trying that today. That's my strategy today. That's going to be the way I work it. Let me get another drink. I suppose I should introduce you to the podcast and what it is and like why it's called Pretty Disruptive. Basically, when I knew I was going to do a podcast, it started the wheels turning in my head. Like, what am I going to call it? It's stress. I get overwhelmed with too much choice. When it comes to naming a podcast, there couldn't be more of a choice. Like, there's literally so many words in the fucking dictionary. Do you know what I mean? So I was sitting down trying to think of a name for the podcast. Every time I would do a TikTok video at the time, I would end it by saying, love ya, bye. And I was like, I'll just call it the Love You Bye podcast, like LYB podcast. That was what it was going to be. After 3 days, absolutely hated it. I was like, what was I even thinking? Was I drunk? I was like, no, scrap that. And it came up a couple of times where I would come up with a name and then a couple of days later I would hate it. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be it forever. I'm doomed. I'm doomed. I'm never going to think of a name. If I was to not hate the podcast name after 3 days, it had to be something that had like an anchor in my life, you know, like an emotional anchor where even if I didn't like the name anymore, it would still have a meaning to me. So it wouldn't be that much of a big deal that I hated it. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're going for a tattoo, you want to make sure it's something that you will love forever because of the meaning behind it. Whereas if you just go and get a random tattoo, you're likely going to hate it in a couple of years when you no longer connect to it. I sat down and I was like, what has my life been? I was like, let's have something that encapsulates me, my life, something I've struggled with, something that's whatever. And I thought back to school, something that used to really bother me all through school. As you know, I'm a bit of a chatterbox. I'm a bit of a chatty Sally. And what? Sue me. Literally call the police, tell them to take me away, lock away the key. Yeah, I like to chat, okay? And I was the same all through school. I would like to chat with my peers. And it was always put down to being disruptive. It was always disruptive. And funny enough, it was only for girls. Girls were always disruptive. Boys were always, oh, he's a little clown. Oh, he's such a charmer. And the girls were just disruptive and too loud. And it always stuck with me. I hated it. I was like, what do you mean disruptive? I'm just chatting to John about Bundoran at the weekend, asking him how he's getting on. How's his family cat? Do you know what I mean? Oh, sorry for building rapport with my classmates, with my fellow students. Sorry for, getting to know people on a deeper level, connecting spiritually with these people. No, no, you can't do that. You just have to shut up. And honestly, by the time I left school, I had enough. And I still hear it throughout my life. People don't like loud girls. Like, I don't know what the fuck their problem is, but they don't like girls having opinions. And I have opinions. Okay. I do have opinions. I love to talk. It's just the way it is. I love to tell stories. I like to, I don't know, have fun. Sorry, literally sorry. And so I thought of this concept where we called it Pretty Disruptive, talking like as if we have a team here. It's just me, but we're manifesting. We thought if we called it Pretty Disruptive, we're taking the power back from the word disruptive being a negative word. It's not a negative word. When in life has something happened that's for the better, that hasn't been caused by some sort of disruption? I think disruption's a great thing. We need more disruption. Ideally, if we could all go and just disrupt politics at the moment, that would be great. Can we disrupt? Can there be a bit of disruption? Do you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I like that concept. I like how it feels. It feels very me. It feels very womanly. It feels good. And so I called it Pretty Disruptive, just to sprinkle on a little bit of prettiness there because I'm a pretty bitch. Yes. No, honestly, I don't know. I just like the word pretty and I liked how it worked with disruptive. That's the truth. That is the truth. But yeah, so that's why it's called Pretty Disruptive. We're taking the power back. Ideally, I would like to get into maybe discovering some disruptive women throughout the podcast, maybe chatting about them, because you don't really hear a lot of stories. It's so annoying. Like, there's so many amazing women doing unbelievable, crazy stuff in the world, and we just never hear it. I'd like to make this the portal in which you learn about, I don't know, an amazing thing that happened, that a woman disrupted some shit and some shit happened. I don't know how far that'll go, but we'll see. As I already said, it's literally up in the air. It's up for debate, to be honest, what this podcast is going to be. But I do like that idea because I'm turning what used to be so negative, like I would be called disruptive or attention seeking or all of these words like throw on to girls that are loud or chatty or I don't know, curious. Honestly, I just felt curious. If I was to look back on my life, I would just say I was a curious person. And what a boring life it would be without the curiosity of us women. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're going with. We're going with Pretty Disruptive, and I'm so excited about it. It feels so good. It feels good. I'm also going to use the podcast as a communication tool with you guys. Like, I want to build the community here. I want to have, what will we call ourselves? We're going to have to come up with something. We'll call ourselves Disruptors. The Disruptors. Yes. No, we'll work on that. If you have any ideas for our community, let me know. But at the end of the day, I want to use this as an avenue to speak to you guys, tell you my recommendation for the week, if I've been reading anything, if I've been watching anything that I think you should watch or read, just like somewhere to share my special interests and just fill your head with fun, exciting stuff that might spark an interest in you as well. That's literally what it's going to be. I just want this to be a nice, fun, creative vibes. When I was coming up with the podcast, it was really important to me that I had like a why for starting it, because then I wouldn't get bored and want to stop halfway through. I thought to myself, right, what do I want my listeners to feel when they're watching my podcast, or what I want them to feel when they're listening, and how do I want them to feel after they finish listening? And I want you to feel curious, enlightened, like happy, like, I don't know, lighter. I want you to feel floatier. After listening to the podcast, I want it to be a happy space. Maybe something sparks your interest and you go and take a look into this silly thing I'm talking about, because that's what life is all about, in my opinion. I wonder, should I give a quick intro just on who I am in case someone's listening to this for the first time and hasn't seen any of my other platforms? How do I sum myself up right? I am 27, as I said. I'm what you would describe as a jack of all trades and a master of none. I love everything. I like to get my hands into everything, but I'm not a master of any of them. Yes, and that's how I like it. I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't need to be the master. I just want to experience it. Do you know what I mean? I'm all about the experience. I'm 27. I'm currently living in Australia. I'm from Ireland, a small little village in Derry. A small little village. When I'm saying a small village, I mean there's a chippy, there's a shop, there's a post office in the shop, there's a barber's, I think it's also a hairdresser's, and there's a Chinese. And really, you know what? We're doing pretty well. It's very small. You could drive through it in about 2 minutes, but I'm away up the mountain. I live way up the mountain. I live on beautiful Slieve Galleon, and I love it there. Yeah, but I'm in Australia at the minute. We moved over here in 2023. So we're going to do our 3-year working holiday visa, and then we're going to go from there and see the crack. I might actually do a full podcast on moving over here and immigrating in general, because I feel like there's not a lot of podcasts out there that give you a full kind of overview. So I'll maybe do that at some point. If you want it, let me know. I did marketing at uni. I actually got a job this week, which woo! It is so difficult to get a job in marketing out here. It's actually ludicrous and it should be illegal. The amount of work I had to do to try and get a job. But I got something sorted, so we're happy out. I've been in a relationship now for just over 9 years. So we're into our 10th year. Hey, love him. He is my husband, my lover, my rock, my vibe. He's the best. Love him. But also he had all men except for him. Do you know what I mean? That's my MO. What else? Like, honestly, I'm pretty uninterested. There's not much going on here. I have two brothers, all of that. I'm from a broken home. My mother and papa did not love each other enough to stay together for the children. Low key, love that my parents aren't together. I think it's great. My parents have been separated since I was like 2. I have no problem with it. Honestly, I can't even imagine them together, to be completely honest. And I've had a great life. So yeah, you'll get to know me a bit more throughout the episodes. We'll chat, we'll get into things. But that's really it for now. That's the vibe. Did I say I have two brothers? That's really it. Sorry, this is literally giving me flashbacks. I had a therapy appointment one time and the woman literally, I was telling her about my family and like just, she asked me about my family. So I was telling her, I was getting to know her. She then cut me off and said that it was too much information and that she didn't need to know it. And that was the last time I spoke to that therapist. That's another episode idea, bad therapy appointments, because I've had them. Okay. Yeah, girls, this is literally just the intro podcast, so nothing special happening this week. I just wanted to introduce it, show you my baby, and hopefully it can be the start of a really great podcast. It's gonna be fucking fun. If anything, I'm gonna learn a new skill, which is how to podcast. And I'm happy enough with that. That's enough for me. That's basically the baby. That is the podcast. That's the concept. That's the vibe. Hopefully, we can have a great blossoming relationship. I'm so glad that you chose to listen to the podcast. I think it could be really great. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I do want you to be involved. So let me know if you have any women that you want to showcase, like who we should talk about. We're basically going to talk all things being in your 20s, things I've figured out, just chatty stuff. I'm coming 27 in 2 weeks now. What the freaking helly? Because I'm like, how have I lived 27 years? 27 years. It is mad. It is just mad. There's not really much else to say. I'm going to go straight into the next episode here. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this first one. I know it was a little bit explainy, but it is what it is. You know, I have to introduce myself at some point. Yeah, hopefully you'll get to know me, as I said, as we move through the episodes. Okay. And we're going to post every single week. I haven't chosen a day yet. You'll know whatever day this comes out. It's probably the day that I will be uploading. Although I would love to put my first episode out in the 22nd of the month, just because 2 is my favorite number. I love 2s, 222. My necklace is 222. They're my angel numbers. So I would like to do that in an ideal world, but we'll see what happens. Make sure to follow the podcast over on Instagram. Obviously follow me as well. But if you follow the podcast on Instagram, you'll be able to get involved in any kind of questions I do, if I do any, like, I don't know what we're going to do. Honestly, it's all up for debate. But yes, thank you so much for listening today. I hope you got some steps done and I wasn't too annoying for company. And I suppose I'll talk to you all next week. I love you. I miss you already. I love you. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. Have a lovely day. And remember to breathe. Love you. Bye.